for being here, not in Bruges or in Brussels, huh? But let's make it sure that we all know that we are in Ghent today. Yeah, for sure. Because last time I received this review, online review, it was written like Onur was a good tour guide and it was a great experience being with him in Brussels. So this happened because Ghent is often overlooked by tourists, but for no good reason. Especially, Ghent has way more impressive history than that of Bruges and Brussels combined. Bruges was important only during the Middle Ages, and Brussels was important only after the Middle Ages, and Ghent was important always, all throughout its history. And in its golden ages, around 13th and 14th centuries, Ghent was the second biggest city on in the European mainland, on the north of Rhine River, with a population of 60,000, when a city like Amsterdam was just 1,000 inhabitants. It was like a little village comparing to us, huh? Right now it changed a little bit, but so Paris was the second biggest, Paris was the biggest city with 200,000 population. Yeah. So Ghent was also the first city in the European mainland where the Industrial Revolution took off. That's why it's nicknamed the Manchester of the European mainland. I don't know if it's a good thing or bad. Any of you from Manchester? No, you? No. Oh, no. Oh, you're said you're close by Cambridge. Anyway, so that means I have a lot of history to share with you. That starts of two rivers, Leie and Schelde. Leie is just right in front of you. Schelde, which is all the way behind the last church there. Also the name Ghent, it comes from a Celtic word Ganda, which means confluence, so it makes sense. What happened? Two factors played a crucial role in the rapid growth of the city. First, as I just mentioned, it was found on the crossroads of two rivers, but highways of the Middle Ages. Imagine it that way, and squeezed in between England, France, Germany and Scandinavia. Secondly, the most important thing was that the wool trade here. So the land, it used to be very swampy. It wasn't so ideal for growing crops, but it was perfect to rear their sheep. So as this land was regularly flooded by the sea, that's the reason it was swampy. And also the name Flanders, it comes from an old Germanic word, Flauma, English like a flood, so it makes sense. What happened? People of Ghent used to rear their sheep and use their wool to make beautiful, beautiful clothes. Thanks to the wool trade, Ghent grew so large during the Middle Ages. All right, this was a fast, brief introduction. Did you get some things?
Yeah.
That's fine. All right, so if the things are not clear for you, you can always stop me and ask. And if I'm walking fast, you can also slow me down, yeah? Anyway, so for now then, ta-da! The skyline of Ghent, it's best observed from here because you can see all of them at the same time, and still impressive, but must have been absolutely breathtaking sight during the Middle Ages, in a time when most people lived in simple villages in the countryside. Those towers would have been visible from miles around, and back then I guess it was invoking a similar feeling of amazement as Manhattan can invoke to the visitors, let's say. Three towers. The first one is called St. Nicholas Church, the oldest one here, 12th century. And then the second one, the Belfry Tower, 14th century. All the way behind we see the St. Bauer's Cathedral, which is from the 16th century, although the base is from the 10th century. So I will talk about them more later on, but for now, let me tell you just a little bit about the Belfry Tower, the second one. Even let's continue with a small question. Do you recognize what kind of creature, figure is on the top of the Belfry Tower?
Dragon?
Dragon? One more answer?
Rooster?
Rooster? Fried or no? Alright, you said dragon, then congratulations. It was so fast answer. Would you like to continue the tour? No? Not today?
No.
Alright, so it's a special dragon, by the way. When everyone is sleeping during the night, it can fly 4 meters high up and then give some fire as well from its mouth. And that's true, huh? So this dragon tells us about a conflict that used to be, in my opinion, still going on between Bruges and Ghent. Today, if you are seeing one Brugian and Ghentian, they are fighting, but really hardcore, bloody fight, which happens often, huh? So you know, for sure, the reason is this dragon. Why? Because we stole it from Bruges.
Okay.
It was around the 13th century. So today, if you're joining their free walking tour, they will talk about it very desperately. They're really sad about that. But they don't have much right to be angry at us because this dragon was first time stolen from Constantinople, today's Istanbul. If it has to go back somewhere, it should be today's Istanbul. But also, they don't have much right to be angry at us, like neither Brugians, because it was first time stolen from Aleppo, today's Syria. If it has to go back somewhere, it should be there. But then Aleppo, so yeah, it got lost in the legend. But you have to know one thing, that from the beginning till end, the level of stubbornness in this city, it's super high. They will say anyway, this dragon was, at the beginning, it was casted in Ghent, you know? So, the Belfry Tower also used to be a place of armory, but also a place where the city was hiding their most important documents. And also, it used to, and still have, a lot of bells inside for different purposes. So, you can imagine the Belfry Towers, which is very popular in northern France and Flanders. You can imagine them during the Middle Ages. They are sort of an instrument that is coordinating the city life by its bells. For example, if there is a fire, you would hear this warning tune. If the enemies are approaching, for example, you would hear another tune. If there would be an execution, you would hear this special horror tune that all the citizens will go outside to watch it. I guess during the Middle Ages it was fun, like the times when there is no Netflix, no internet, you know, they will come outside with their kids to watch it. So it was pretty much important. Also, the opening and closing time of our city gates, it was announced by the Belfry Tower. It wasn't that free that you could come randomly, but no, you had to follow the strict hours. I think about the towers, it's fine. Later on I will give you a little bit more explanation, unless you have a question. So, right in front of you, there is this old post office. How old is this building? What is your guess? Just this one, right in front of you. It looks like a church. Okay, we have enough churches around.
1600.
1600 or 17th century, you mean? 14, 17, 16. Keep it secret. I'm going to give you the answer. It was completed in 1909.
Oh my God.
So keep it secret, but everything is fake in Ghent, huh? No, it's not fake, but some things are quite a bit new. Hey, look at the busts on the facade. Those are about the second floors.
Yeah.
Sculptures, head sculptures. They are actually all around the building, surrounding the building. Those sculptures are making our old post office very unique. Why? Because there you don't only find the Belgian kings, but you can find the Tsar of Russia, the Empire of Japan, the American presidents, Ottoman pashas, etc. So why they are making the building very unique? Because it was completed just right before the First World War. So that means some of the participants are there. It might sound a little bit weird, but it's normal. Post means communication. So another strong reason why they have built it here, our World Expo, which was in 1913. You heard about the World Expo?
Yeah.
Which is very popular in Europe. For example, Brussels, in different period, they got their Atomium, and Paris, they got their Eiffel Tower. We got the post office. Why not? So, you are part of the group, or? Okay, then. Yes, alright. People might confuse. So, anyway, instead of during our World Expo, instead of receiving one monumental attraction like the other cities, Ghent received more renovation, restoration, let's say more general facelift of the city. So it might surprise you, but also the bridges from that time, 1909, the priest house just right behind you, 1909, and also the building right behind the bridge, 1909, fake Big Ben, 1909. Sorry guys, I'm disappointing you. No, I will of course mention you some of those original buildings as well. Yeah? Alright, I think. Any questions so far? Then we can slowly head towards this direction, please. Yeah.
এই বিল্ডিংগুলো দেখতে এত পুরনো হলো 1909 সালে তৈরি, কিন্তু পুরনো লুকস দিয়েই বানিয়েছে। বলছে। তো এইগুলো আসলে ফেক পুরনো বিল্ডিং, আদৌ পুরনো নয় কিন্তু পুরনোর মতো দেখতে। এখানেও আমরা বোট ট্যুর করতে পারবো আমস্টারডামের মতো। বুঝেও যেরকম বোট ট্যুর করেছিলাম, দেখা যাক এখানকার বোট ট্যুরটা কীরকম হয়, এক্সপিরিয়েন্স করার চেষ্টা করবো শেষে।